How honest can you be with your therapist about things that you just dislike about them? I'm not dishonest with my therapist, other than the fact that I haven't told her, and I never will. I'm prepared for book club. People who are ill prepared for book club actually really grind my gears, because it's like Marissa, I don't give a that your cousin just gave birth. I really don't care. Can we get to chapter 3 on this book, which I don't even think that you read for real? I have a problem with stating how I feel about certain people that I dislike without being overly empathetic to a pathetic degree. You know how girls, every single time they start talking, they're like, "Now I love her. I love her. She's the best. No, she's the best. But she can like
for rotten hell, for real."
Hi, I've already recorded this video, but I just wanted to say I rant a lot about my therapist and things that I would like to get off my chest about her in a way that makes it feel like I dislike her. My therapist is like 80% effective for me. She helps me grow, she helps me learn, made me feel like a complete full person who could actually experience tangible happiness. Like I really These are just the kind of rants that I can't get off my chest because it's hard for me to be authentic about the things that are a little bit uglier, because it makes me uncomfortable. This is like impossible to figure out how I'm gonna say this. We are gathered today. Gathered today because my therapist wants to decrease my sessions from bi-weekly to once a month. And it's because she thinks I'm a lot more well than I am. And trust me, I am so unwell. Okay, I am a little bit more well than I'm talking about. Like, I'm exaggerating, but I really do like having a safe space in my therapist's office to talk about things weekly, as opposed to having that taken away. I'm kind of panicking because I'm a little bit codependent. But I don't know how to tell her that because she thinks that I'm well. I think mainly because I'm not that authentic with her. And I think I'm not that authentic with her because I hold being mature, being well-spoken to such a high regard that even when I tell her my problems, they are wrapped up in such a bow that makes you think that like I have them figured out, and I don't. Since my sessions have been decreased from weekly to bi-weekly, now potentially to monthly, I feel like my need to be liked, my need to put things in a mature, wrapped up, put together little bow is decreasing my authenticity. Like, I'm not dishonest with my therapist, other than the fact that I haven't told her about this YouTube channel, and I never will. The things that I say to her, I don't say them exactly how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Also, you don't have to know what I mean in order for me to say it, idiot. You don't have to do that. For one thing that I don't like about my therapist that I will never tell her, this is also another thing, is like, how honest can you be with your therapist about things that you just dislike about them? I feel like to be authentic in therapy and to actually get my money's worth, I need to be honest about the feelings that I have towards our conversation style so that they can be tweaked. But it feels rude almost to comment on your therapist and how she's doing things. I was ranting about how my husband has ADHD and being like, whenever he listens to me, he's like 50% there. Whenever he blah, blah, blah. Like, I was talking about all these things related to ADHD, and I read this book called The ADHD Effect on Marriage, and I was telling her about that, and she was like, "Oh, I have ADHD." Ever since then, I have noticed anytime we are talking about something that I have like been waiting a long time to talk about, we get off topic. And I'm like, can we get back to the fact that I literally was traumatized in like the 5th grade? I don't want to like stop you in whatever you were talking about your 5th grade experience, but I feel like since I'm the one who requested this session, I don't really want to hear about how you relate to this, like, unless it helps me. But if it's not helping me, there is nothing wrong, obviously, with having ADHD. It is an attention deficit disorder. It's fine. Like, I'm not villainizing her for that. I just almost feel like if your client cannot get out their stories without you getting distracted and going off on a tangent, or without them being able to finish their thoughts, without them interrupting you about how they need to get back to finishing their thought, it's like, I feel like I should bring that up to her, but I can't, like, absolutely hate the idea of being like, hey, can we go back to that one thing that I said? Because it's like annoying that you're bringing this back to yourself, because you project a lot of things onto me. You do, and you get really distracted a lot, just like my husband, which is what I'm trying to talk about. You're like my therapist. We're not girls. Oh my god, if she ever saw this, I would KMS. I would. I don't like that my therapist doesn't stay on topic, but I don't know how to bring that up to her in a way that's kind and respectful, because the way I feel towards it is just, I'm so annoyed at it, but I'm never gonna bring it up. I have a problem with simply stating how I feel about certain people that I dislike without being overly empathetic to a pathetic degree. It's so sad. Like, you know how girls every single time they start talking, they're like, "No, I love her. I love her. She's the best. No, she's the best. But she can like rot in hell. For real. I watched a marathon in her shoes. But she's kind of a freaking hoe, you know? Like, it's hard for me to I just am nervous that, what am I trying to say here? I can't even say what I want to say. I wish that I could say things the way that blunt, direct people say them, because at least you know exactly what the blunt, direct person is trying to get at, even if it's not favorable. But I feel the need to say things in the kindest, most favorable way so that nobody can clock me and be rude to me for trying to see somebody else's side. But I will just go off on a tangent about how there are people that I dislike. I dislike 3 or 2 people in my book club because they're the most annoying people to actually ever exist, and they make the book club so much less enjoyable. I wish they had never joined. My book club meets once a month. It's just annoying when you meet once a month and you have like some extroverts who simply just want to come to just sit and talk about their lives and not about the book. Like, Marissa, I don't give a damn that your cousin just gave birth. I really don't care. Can we get to chapter 3 on this book, which I don't even think that you read for real, because you're always asking a million questions about, oh, what happened to this character? Oh, when did that happen in the book? Read the book next time and come prepared for book club. People who are ill prepared for book club actually really grind my gears, because it's like, we meet once a month. You had a month to look into this book and to get your stupid little questions answered by yourself. And you're coming to the book club where people who have like actually been waiting for this for a month. You come to this book club talking about, my neighbor's dog's in the hospital today. No one should care about that. No one should care about that. And I find myself in these meetings just being like, oh my god, I really should hear them out. Like, maybe they don't talk to a lot of people. Maybe this is their one thing that they do once a month. Maybe, like, because it's typically older people that like to just go off on these stupid little tangents. Maybe they don't have any neighbors. Maybe their friends have all died. No, come to book club to talk about the books. Come to book club to talk about the books. When people come to book club and they talk about, like, everything other than the books, oh my god, how does anybody else feel this rage towards this one person that I do? Does anybody else feel like Marissa should leave and never come back? Because I swear Marissa is just making this thing like so irritating. I am so incredibly irritable with people. There are some days where I just wish I could try out living on my own for a year. Completely isolated, to see how that affects me mentally. Because when I was younger, like, my siblings are pretty much all social, and I would be like my introverted little self. Like, I just saw you yesterday. Like, oh my god, stop. I miss quarantine. I do. I miss the isolation. I miss the forced, limited interaction that you would have with people. I have this desire to be socially aware and to be informed as a human being. I don't want to be an idiot that just dodges the news and that doesn't know what's going on. You know, I don't want to be ignorant. Ignorance sometimes can be bliss, but I am just a little too sensitive and anxious to be intaking the amount of news that it takes to stay very aware, to stay very informed. I just find that whenever I read things that are discouraging, it's hard for me to feel safe and to feel hopeful about the world, and to feel it's so pathetic. It's so pathetic that I can't just read what the realities of the world and just be like, I wish I could just be a little bit more well. I had a teacher who was like the best teacher I ever had, that really sparked a passion for simply just being aware of the world and for voting, because voting sparks change. And don't you want to have an impact in the world? And if you don't have an impact in the world and you don't vote out of like whatever idiocy you think is gonna like do something for you, it's not. Like, I so appreciate and am envious of people that can stay up in the news and stay well informed, because I would like to be one of them. But I just find that my emotions are a little bit too entangled in the stories that I read, and it freaks me out. And it makes me annoyed, because I would very much so not like to feel that way. I would love to be numb to whatever I read, and I can't do it. My therapist is a good therapist at the end of the day. My therapist is very like solutions based, not more so just like let me sit and let her rant and do whatever, because she's a productive therapist who lets you like think things through and put in the work to get better. My therapist helps me to get better in her own methods, and there are some methods that I wish I could tell her about that work better for me, but they just feel really rude and hard to say out loud. But the things that I cannot say to her, I want to be able to say one day. Therapy can't be your end-all be-all for all your problems, you know? Like, sometimes I'll go to therapy and I'll feel like a little bit unfulfilled in relation to talking about like my struggles as a Black woman, because she's a white woman who cannot understand my struggle. She can only listen in solidarity or whatever. So that's why I have Black friends that I can talk to. That's why I have a husband who respects my opinion and can try to empathize with me. That's why I have journaling. That's why I have this YouTube channel, you know? There's so many things that are great about therapy. Even when my therapist falls short, I do find that I make up in some way how to work through whatever it is that I cannot work through with her. Yeah, whatever. That's it. I don't know how to end this. I hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or night, whoever you are, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing. I said that in the wrong order, but whatever.